Today we are going to talk about installing the Bio Bidet Bliss BB-2000 bidet seat. My name is Daniel Johnson, your bidet expert and owner of ManyBidets.com, where we've sold over 10,000 bidets in the last 8 years. So for starters, when we're going to install a seat, we need to make sure that we drain the water from the tank of the existing toilet. In order to do that, we need to turn off the water supply, have something to absorb some of this water for here in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and drain the tank. And we hold down on this flush lever until we hear no more water dripping. Now that we've gotten that done, we can go ahead and start the installation process. So we're going to go ahead and put the mounting plate up here. It's important to note that there is a tab in the back. This tab is what stops the bidet seat from sliding in further than it should. So that tab goes in the back. If you have the mounting plate on like this, you have it on backwards. Just a heads up. So we're going to go ahead and put it on with the tab in the back. And now we're going to install these little metal rectangular washers. These allow you to have multiple width settings. So if you have a toilet that has a less than common bolt spread, the bidet can still mount on it with those extra wide washers. So now we're going to put the bolts through these washers. The ridges on the washers face up. So if you have the washers in like this, you have them in upside down. The ridges should face up because when the bolt goes through, the bolt is going to rest between those ridges. And then we're going to put these rubber washers on the bottom side, thin side up, wide side down. The wide side is going to press against this nut. And the thin side is going to grip the porcelain on the bottom side of the toilet. Now we don't have to make this overly tight just yet. We can leave it a little bit loose because once we install the bidet seat, we'll want to be able to adjust the bidet seat to get the perfect position before tightening down all the way. All right, so that's somewhat snug. And now we're going to go ahead and grab our bidet seat. So we have this piece here with a couple of grooves in either side. Those grooves slide into this part of the mounting plate. And then we have this button which moves the hooks here on the bottom. And those hooks clamp into these spots here and basically hold the seat in place. We also want to make sure that we're removing this blue packing tape before installing. And now we can go ahead and slide the seat on. So we want to line this up. If you feel like it is not resting level, you're probably looking at a scenario where it's not properly lined up with the mounting plate. Once it is, just push it back and we can hear it snap into place. Now that it's snapped into place, we can see that the front is overhanging a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen up this mounting plate a little bit. Slide the seat back. And that is much better up here in the front. So now we're going to go ahead and tighten the mounting plate down again. And we're good to go there. So we've got the mounting plate installed. We've got the seat firmly on the toilet. Now it's time to disconnect the water supply here. Remember, we've already drained the water tank. We've already turned off the water supply. So while there's going to be some water here, it should be pretty minimal. We have something to catch the water that falls, but again, not a whole lot of water here that we're dealing with. Now, one of the common things that we get questions on is, did you send me, let me soak up this water here real quick. Did you send me the wrong T connector? Very common question we get. And what ends up happening is the customer takes the T connector and tries connecting it down here. Well, it's not designed to be connected down here. It's designed to be connected on the bottom side of the toilet tank. So if you're trying to connect it down here, it's not going to work because it's not designed to be connected at the water inlet. You also want to make sure that that rubber washer is in that T connector before connecting it. And then just put that on the bottom side here and connect this to the bottom side of that T connector. So now we have the water supply connected back up to the toilet, but with a T connector in line. This T connector gives us the ability now to put the water supply from the water inlet to the bidet seat as well. So we're going to go ahead again, make sure that you have both ends of this hose have the rubber washers on them. We're going to go ahead and run one here. Because of the rubber washers, hand tight should be sufficient. This elbow is an optional additional piece. Again, if you use this elbow, make sure that you have the rubber washer in there as well. This elbow gives you the ability to keep the water supply hose from coming out at an angle. If we don't use this elbow, the water supply hose is going to come out like this. But with the elbow, we can have it shoot down. So it's an optional additional piece you can use if you so desire, purely for cosmetic reasons, but it's there for you to utilize. We can now go ahead and turn the water supply back on and check for leaks. We're good to go. We didn't see any leaks. Like I said, you notice we did not use a wrench on anything. So while you could use a wrench on these, hand tight really should do the trick. And if you use a wrench, you want to be very careful not to over tighten. We would also then want to plug the bidet seat into our outlet. So a 3-prong GFCI outlet. We want to plug that in. And then last but not least, we'll want to get the remote ready. So the remote comes with a wall mount. We get a lot of people calling asking, where do I put the batteries in the remote? The reason they're asking that is because they haven't removed the wall mount yet. So make sure that you take the wall mount off, and then once you do that, the location for the batteries is a lot easier to find. You can simply put the batteries into the remote, and then the wall mount can be adhered to the wall via screws or via self-adhesive on the back. And once it's been mounted wherever it fits the best, the remote can be slid in and out of the wall mount with ease. All right, so we've officially installed our Bio Bidet Bliss BB-2000. Let's give it a test. All right, something's happening. All right, so I hear a noise, but the wash isn't running. We get calls about this all the time right after a bidet seat's been installed. My bidet seat is broken, I need a replacement. The issue actually doesn't have to do with the seat not being functional. It has to do with the fact that the seat sensor is not activated. It is also important to note that this seat sensor sticker can be removed. So let's go ahead and actually remove that here. So I have to activate the seat sensor in order to test it because this seat won't spray unless the seat sensor is activated so that it doesn't spray the room. So if I move my hand over the seat sensor, I can activate it. I can tell that the seat sensor is activated by the red light up here on the occupied sensor indicator. So if I remove my hand, you'll see that occupied sensor disappears. If I move my hand back over that seat sensor, you can see occupied sensor is now showing again. All right, so with the occupied seat sensor activated, Let's go ahead and hit a wash at this point. And now you can see that the wash is running. And if I remove my hand from the seat sensor, the wash automatically turns off. So when you're testing the seat for the first time, make sure that you're testing it with the seat sensor activated. The seat sensor is large enough that sometimes it is hard to activate it with just a hand as well. So if you're testing it with the hand and having a tough time actually being able to fully test it, get some privacy, sit on the toilet as if you were actually using it with bearskin contact on the seat, and give it another try. Chances are things will work perfectly. We have officially completed the installation of the Bio Bidet Bliss BB-2000 bidet seat. Thank you so much for watching. If you found today's video helpful, please don't hesitate to subscribe and consider making your next bidet purchase from manybidets.com to help us continue to create great content like this for you and others. Also remember to check out our website. A link is in the video description. We can be reached there via email, phone, text message, live chat, and we have lots of great information out there as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day.
ManyBidets.com, where we sell mini bidets, not mini bidets.